Now, Russian media reports suggest that President Vladimir Putin is set to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in its neighbouring country of Belarus. This will be the first time since mid-1990s that Moscow would be stationing such arms outside its territory. The announcement comes at a time when rift with the West is growing over the Russia-Ukraine war, the war that does not seem to be ending. The Russian president said the United States has been deploying their tactical nuclear weapons on the territory of their allied countries in Europe for decades now. He emphasized that Russia is just doing the same without violating any international obligations on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Reacting to the announcement, Ukraine says that Russia is holding Minsk as a nuclear hostage. Officials added that the move was a step towards the internal destabilization of Belarus.
Александр Владимирович прав, он говорит, ну слушайте, мы же ваши ближайшие союзники, почему американцы своим союзникам делают это, на их территории размещают, учат, кстати говоря, их экипажи, их летчиков использовать при необходимости этот вид вооружения. Мы договорились, что мы сделаем то же самое, не нарушая своих обязательств, хочу это подчеркнуть.
So what exactly are these tactical nuclear weapons? These are nuclear weapons that are used for specific gains on the battlefield rather than those with the capacity to wipe out entire cities. According to the announcement, the construction of a storage facility for such weapons in Belarus will get completed by July 1st. Russia has stationed 10 aircraft in Belarus capable of carrying tactical nuclear weapons already. Putin added that Moscow had already transferred a number of Iskander tactical missile systems that can launch nuclear weapons to Minsk. Now, why this is raising eyebrows is because Belarus shares borders with 3 NATO countries, Poland, Lithuania and Latvia. The United States has reacted cautiously to the announcement. A senior U.S. official noted that Russia and Belarus have been in talks about such a deal over the past year. He added, however, there were no signs that Moscow planned to use its nuclear weapons. The International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons denounced the move and called it an extremely dangerous escalation. Although Putin said that Moscow would not actually be transferring control of the arms to Minsk, such a move must be seen in the backdrop of Russia suspending its observation of the New START treaty. This means that Moscow will not allow NATO countries to inspect its nuclear arsenal. Russia argues that it would be inappropriate to allow inspections while the countries are in a standoff over Russia's war in Ukraine. And for more on this, we are being joined by Fred Weir, who is a journalist and a political commentator. Welcome to the broadcast, Fred. How do you think the West is going to react to Russia deploying the tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus?
Well, we've heard the reaction, and it is, in fact, something of an escalation. I mean, if we look at it in the context of what's going on, all the tensions, all the war in Ukraine, the really dangerous talk about nuclear war that's occurring, this can't be good. On the other hand, Vladimir Putin is absolutely right. The Americans do this all the time. Belarus is a military ally of Russia, and the weapons would be under Russian control. That's just the same model the Americans practice. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. I mean, absent the context that we're in, it probably would go mostly unnoticed.
So technically speaking, this is actually legal according to the international framework. But how do you expect something like this to have an impact on the Russia-Ukraine war?
Well, hopefully it doesn't. And I think it's more about Russia's relationship with the West. They've been constantly harping on the nuclear weapons issue in order to warn the West that they should not get more deeply involved in Ukraine. Russia has these weapons. Russia could use them. This is really dangerous talk. This is what I meant, but it's not, as far as I can tell. I mean, I can be wrong. I talk to people. I try to get on top of these things, but as far as I understand it, Russia is still adhering to its nuclear doctrine, which is that they do not use nuclear weapons unless they're used against them or there's an existential threat to the Russian state. So all this maneuvering, putting weapons here and there, and talking about it is dangerous and reckless, but it doesn't signal that the Russians are about to start using these weapons.
All right. Thank you for all those insights, Fred. Thank you for joining us from Moscow.
Thank you.